In what is not a very shocking analysis, turns out that most Americans are not able to afford a basic standard of living in our own country. Yeah, I know. No kidding. Wow, shocker. Oh my God. I know all of that. Trust me, I get it. But I think it's important to go through some of the details here. Now, this new report comes from the Ludwig Institute for Shared Economic Prosperity, also known as LISEP. And what it looked at is not just being able to afford necessities, you know, the things that you need to survive, like food and shelter, but it also looks at the technology tools that were necessary for work, higher education, health, and childcare. So those things are also necessary when it comes to your standard of living. Okay, so looking at all of that provides a fuller picture than the standard data that is used that makes it not look so bad, even though things are pretty bad. All right. Now, the group explains the approach in a statement saying that, quote, we analyze these components not just in terms of financial figures, but as crucial elements that shape a family's capability to achieve a desirable standard of living. You know, that whole American dream thing that we're supposed to have. But yes, it is just a dream because most people don't have it. And they're dreaming of it. Okay. And it's not happening. It's actually an American nightmare, what we have right now. Now, speaking of that, the findings are absolutely disastrous. For the bottom 60% of U.S. households, a minimal quality of life is out of reach, according to the group. So 60%, that's a majority. That's not good. For the bottom, the middle class has been declining. We just haven't recognized it fully, said LISEP chairman Gene Ludwig, talking to CBS Money Watch. I mean, if you've been paying attention, then yes, you have noticed this. But there are people out there that will gaslight you and tell you, no, things are fine. You have a refrigerator. You have a microwave. You're doing better than so many people. Oh, my God, you're doing awesome. And you're not really poor. I mean, even though you can't really afford to buy healthy food or anything like that, you still have a microwave. You got a big screen TV. You got a flat screen. I mean, thing is that a lot of the cheap products here that we have that were considered luxury products are no longer luxury products because they're actually cheaper than a lot of things, whereas the necessities for survival, rent, mortgage, food, etc., have been steadily climbing in price and isn't really as affordable anymore. So yeah, that's a problem. Now, he added, it's really dangerous because it's the kind of thing that leads to social unrest. Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's not fair. The American dream is not that it's given to you. It's that if you work hard, you have a chance to get ahead and achieve the things in life that you want to achieve. It's not living in a tent, not having to steal. Okay. Now, I mean, yes, he is right about that. But once again, we don't have the American dream anymore. The people who work the hardest are the ones that are stuck in poverty. And the people that work the least are the ones up in Wall Street at the C-suite. Okay? So they're sitting in their little offices having little computers, AI, whatever, buy up all the stocks and do all this trading that normal humanity cannot match up to. So there's that. All right. Now, speaking of the lowest earning Americans, according to LISEP, they earned around $38,000 a year in 2023. Just that. An average of $38,000. You can't live off that. You can't even rent off of that, a place to live. All right. Now, they found that you would need to make $67,000 in order to afford the items the group tracks as part of its index, which also includes professional clothing and even basic leisure activities. Basic leisure. Oh, you people, you need your basic. Yes, you do. We're human beings. Our lives are more than just working and sleeping. Okay, that's it. All right. Now, they said that the traditional headline economic indicators like GDP and unemployment tell us that the economy is thriving, but they don't reflect the lived reality of most Americans. Americans are working harder than ever, fueling our economic growth, but the benefits of that hard work are not being distributed in a way that supports upward mobility for too many middle and low-income Americans. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. That is the problem. It's not the productivity. It's not the fact. It's not the people are lazy. Oh my God, they don't. No, nobody wants to work anymore. No, it's not that. It's the distribution of wealth. Okay, that's the problem. The wealth that is being generated by all of the hard workers in this country is going to the top. It's going to the shareholders. It's going to the CEOs. Okay. It ain't going to the people. It ain't going to the workers, okay? And this is all while prices of these products that they're making continue to go up. In fact, from 2001 to 2023, the cost of affording what amounts to a basic level of economic security had doubled, according to LISEP's analysis. Housing and healthcare costs surged. Talked about that before, and the amount of savings required to attend an in-state public university soared by 122%. Did you get a 122% raise? No. At the same time, median earnings for the bottom 60% of income earners actually fell 4% over that span when adjusting for the cost of goods tracked by the group's index. Might have something to do with all these different recessions and then caused by, of course, Wall Street, housing markets, all that stuff, and corporate greed, deregulation. You got all of that stuff happening, okay? Now, income group for these households, as a result of that, have lagged, rising just 0.37% per year during the same period. Less than half as much as for the top 40% of earners. And specifically, of course, for the top 1% who got the most gains. And so here's the thing, though. It is not going to get better. It's going to get worse unless there is any significant change. Okay? There has to be significant change. Ludwig explains, unfortunately, it is growing because the items that go into the basket of goods and services that make the minimum quality of life are inflating at a higher rate than wages are inflating. Yeah, of course. Now, none of this is shocking, unless, of course, you happen to be on CNBC, CNN, or even MSNBC, okay? Why do I say that? Because during the election, and some of you might remember this, some of you might not, there was a lot of gaslighting about the Biden economy, okay? Yes, unemployment was down. The stock market was great. But you know what? Millions of Americans still couldn't afford to pay the bills. And you had greedflation as a result. This is a result of the greedflation, of the inflation. Again, half of all inflation was just to pad the pockets of the CEOs. And of course, you had the issue of wages not keeping up because a lot of that, the vast majority of the surplus labor value went right back into the CEOs and shareholders' pockets. That's it. That's where it went. If you're looking for the lost wealth from all your productivity, look at your boss, not your middle manager, but look at the CEO. Look at the shareholders. Look at their profit margins. That's where it went. And here's the thing. The economic conditions and the gaslighting, it's one of the reasons people voted for Donald Trump. All right. Now, Donald Trump lied a lot, okay, about doing something about this. Oh, I'm going to lower your groceries. I'm going to make things more affordable. I'm going to lower price of prescription drugs. Well, he didn't, and he's not going to. Okay. So, yes, but they voted for Trump. Now, that said, Biden and some of his defenders, like Will Stancil, for example, they told people who couldn't afford their standard of living to just shut up. No, just shut up. The economy's awesome. Wait, what? No, no, it's not. Look, the bottom 60% is still not doing very good. Okay, even under this Biden economy. And again, it is because the wealth is going to the top, flowing upwards instead of to the workers, to the people that are actually doing the work. Now, that said, Harris was also not allowed to distance herself from Joe Biden after he dropped out. So on the economic issue, they were indistinguishable. Okay. And so, yes, that is one of the reasons I believe that a lot of people did pull the lever for Donald Trump. Okay. Now, that said, do I think that things would have been better under Kamala Harris? Yes. I don't think there's any question about that. Even though, and by the way, I think that because she wasn't going to get us into dumb trade wars for no benefit, unlike Donald Trump. And so, yes, a lot of what Trump has been doing since he took power economically has been an absolute disaster. But at the same time, you got to point out that I wouldn't have expected a Harris administration to fix this issue. In fact, this report still probably would have come out. And you know why? It's because fixing it would require doing a lot of things that the donors to both parties would hate. For example, taxing rich people, cutting the subsidies to a lot of these giant companies, like oil companies, for example. Billions of dollars a year go to pay for oil subsidies. Okay. Not only that, but how about universal health care, Medicare for all? That would help out a lot. Building more affordable housing. I know Harris did have her own plans to do that, and I get that. There's also maybe doing a federal jobs guarantee. Hell, even a universal basic income, something. A lot of these things, a lot of these ideas, unfortunately, the donors don't want them. Okay, and this is why we're here, the donors. We're here because the donors bought Congress and have spent money, millions of dollars, to prevent any progress economically that will help reduce the level of income disparity that we have in this country. They will not reverse the trend because in order to reverse the trend, they would have to not make as much money. And so, of course, this trend will only continue it will only continue, okay, unless we finally manage to get the money out of our political system. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.